right, everybody, welcome to Selling Weekly Lottos, the 9-month update. All right, I haven't posted in a while. I wasn't able to dodge this pretty bad turning of a bear market, or almost a bear market, the last few weeks. So I just want to throw this update out there to show you guys how I'm doing, and it's kind of not that good. So let's just jump right into the metrics and show you. The last time I updated you was on week 33 and 34. So let's go ahead and just check out what's been happening since then. Boom! All right, so what you can see here is the last few weeks I have not been selling weekly contracts because the premiums aren't that good. If I was to sell weekly contracts, I would have been able to make like $100, maybe $200, using $100,000, and that's not worth it for me. So I haven't been selling weeklies. I've been actually kind of locked out. I've been locked out of the market because I'm almost using all my cash, and I don't want to use all my cash if the market's going to drop even more. But as you see, I did only make around $3,000 this last 13 weeks, 3 months, versus the first few months and the second 3 months I was making like $16,000, $20,000. And so it turned out that a bear market is a lot worse than I expected. I thought this was going to continue to be a good way to make income, even if the stocks fall. But turns out it gets way worse. It gets way worse when the stocks fall than I expected. All right, let's go ahead and check out my roster. All right, oh yeah. All right, so right here you can see these are the shares that I had to buy when I sold cash secured puts. I had to buy 400 Take-Two shares, 200 Nvidia shares, and 100 Google shares. Those are my current shares that I have right now that I can sell covered calls on. But because the prices got so low, the covered calls, it's very unlikely for me to sell weeklies. I still could, but I'd rather go to monthlies, and because Take-Two fell so much, I actually have to go all the way to quarterlies if I want to sell calls to get a good premium in order to get a good return. So I'm really locked out of weeklies, and I'm not willing to put any more money into puts in case the stock market falls even more and I'll take even more losses. So I'm kind of taking a break right now, seeing if the market can recover and just going back to traditional investing. All right, you can see down here these new metrics I made. I have $170,000 in stocks right now that I bought, and in those stocks that I bought, the amount they fell was almost $20,000. So I got $20,000 in unrealized losses wiped out from the total income I made. All right, the most I've ever used in 1 week was in week 19 when I used $238,000. So I'll just say my total max risk is $250,000, and I've made a little bit more than $20,000 the last 9 months. If you take the amount of income I made and subtract my unrealized losses, I've made a little bit more than $20,000 using $250,000 in the last 9 months, which gives me about a little bit more than 9% return in the last 9 months. So about 1% a month. Now that's still not bad, but I am losing to just buying and holding the S&P 500 or QQQ, which went up 12% in the last 9 months. So just slightly losing to them. And it's kind of demoralizing. I feel like a little bit defeated, kind of like if you've ever gotten second place in a competition, like you lose a championship game, get a little demoralized there. It's still a good result, but you feel bad about it because you didn't win, right? It's like a really weird psychological feeling getting second place. That's kind of how I feel right now. A little bit defeated, a little bit demoralized. Because the last 9 months I spent so much time, like going into the brokerage, like opening and closing contracts, updating my Excel sheets, doing all this math to figure out the implied volatility range, going into the charts and drawing trajectory lines, making these videos, and someone who didn't do any of that and just bought S&P 500 or NASDAQ and just went and lived their lives, they're doing better than me, and I spent so much time on it and effort. So kind of, yeah, doesn't feel that good. Yeah, I think there is still something to this. There's just you have to have some sort of innate, like something supernatural that can't be explained, a skill to make you really good at this. And unfortunately, I might not have that. You kind of got to be like the John Wick of stocks in order to beat the market. And unfortunately, I'm just a normal guy. But a few of the things I did wrong, I think number one, the worst thing I did was I put way too much money in one stock. Take two, I put like $100,000 into that right before it dipped, and that was my biggest loss. Versus like something like Nvidia or Google, I only put $30,000. So I put almost like 3 times as much into one stock. So that was a mistake I made. I should have been more mindful of my position sizing there. Speaking of position sizing, second mistake I made was I had the right idea. I thought the market was going to go bearish, so that's why I reduced my position sizing half. I was in the first 6 months, I was putting like $120,000 every week to write these contracts, and then this last 3 months I reduced that to around $50,000 to $60,000. But I should have done even more. Put maybe only $25,000 to $30,000 every week, and that would have eased up some of the losses. All right, and then the third mistake I made is not hedging. I actually don't really hedge much. I need to learn more about this, but basically I could have bought puts. So I normally sell puts for the income, but I could have bought more further out puts, like further dated, like for the end of the year or something, or 6 months, and that would have protected my account because I would have gained a profit from the puts if the stocks fell. Now there's a balance to this because I don't want to buy too many puts, which will lose if the market goes up, reducing my profits. So it's something I'll have to research and figure out how to do it in a way that protects my account without reducing the profits too much. All right, so that's basically it. I just want to throw this update out there that I am kind of taking a break from this, going back to just traditional investing, dollar cost averaging, kind of trying to ride out this bear market, this storm. Doesn't look like it's going to get any better. The first 6 months, every dip was just being bought within a day or a week. And since the end of February, the market has tanked. Well, some single stocks have tanked, and they didn't recover this time. So there might be more pain ahead, and I really hope that everyone will stay safe out there and be smart investors, and hopefully this storm can be over soon, and we can go back to making some cash money. Until then, I'll probably just stick to selling monthlies. I'll keep updating whenever I have something good to add, but for the time being, I think it's best not to take too much time into this. Just enjoy your life and get back to it when things become more stable. So yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys when I see you. All right, take it easy.